Hello and welcome to another Baggie Brothers video. We're talking all things Albion and we're having a post-match chat following our 2-0 loss to Tottenham Hotspurs. I'm guessing we're not really going to focus too much on the game today because we're just going to be recycling the same old shit that we say all the time.
Yeah, basically.
Everyone knows. Everybody knows.
If you want to go and watch our previous over 30 videos,
Yeah,
what's happened in the game.
It's we've played okay in the first half.
I know.
Made some all right saves, missed some chances, but made some all right saves, defended well. It's been all right. Second half starts and concentration disappears.
Yeah.
Conceding at the back, just poor defending, and heads go down and we lose.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah. Am I missing anything? Did I miss out anything? Oh, sorry. Sawyer's is shit. That's the only thing I forgot to say. But yeah. You know, I mean, God, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Where do you think things went wrong today?
Football's a 90-minute game.
That's the problem. And if it was 45 minutes, we would have got a point.
Yeah, but even then, that first 45, if Kane's 100% fit, they'd have been winning 3-0.
Yeah.
They had two or three great chances.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like, Johnson made some.
Yeah, he made some really good saves.
He made some good saves, and we were lucky with him. Was it the crossbar he hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, we got fortunate and we had some good things on our side, but yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, you argue you put the best English striker since Alan Shearer on a pitch, 100% fit, he's probably going to get goals.
You could see even today, it wasn't 100%. You could still
today, yeah, exactly. I was about to say, like, and he's at what, 80% fit?
Yeah,
not even at his full. But obviously, you know, we're a good team for someone like that to come back against, just to get his shooting boots in and
get 60 minutes on the clock. Yeah,
exactly. Score a goal. Yeah, all right, cool. I remember how to do this.
You can come off now.
Let's carry on. Yeah,
rest you up. Yeah, mate, it's appalling defensively again, isn't it? It's just so much space in the wide areas.
Yeah,
it just reminded me a bit of the Fulham game. You know, down when Gibbs, there just seemed to be an abundance of space down the left all the time. It was just like that, but on both sides today. I don't know. Do you want to go into Sam's starting 11? Like, because
you messaged me and Dad that because we've got our little West Brom chat, and you put your starting lineup that you'd made in there, and I sort of did a double take, to be honest with you. I looked at it and then sort of looked at it again. I was going, hang on, Peltier. Why is Peltier starting? All right, maybe he's resting Furlong and O'Shea, but I'd rather you played him, to be honest with you. Than no offense to Peltier, but he's not Premier League quality.
No, and you could see his legs aren't there. He wasn't awful, but you can see he's just not fit enough anymore to compete at that level.
He's not on the same level.
He's not. When you've got Son running down the wing and he's tearing up people that are international right back.
You got Son and Lucas Moura.
Yeah,
running.
And Lucas is quick.
Yes,
Lucas is rapid.
Well, they're both. I mean, you think of Spurs' front three; they're all pretty relentless.
Yeah,
and so you've got, so you've just got those just monsters coming up against them. Then I looked at the midfield, and I was thinking, all right, there's names there that I'm happy to see. There's one name I'm not happy to see, and there's one name that should be there that I was unhappy that wasn't there. Which apparently, so obviously I'm talking about Pereira not being included.
Yeah.
Apparently, I still don't quite know why Pereira was dropped. I did see something earlier that he'd had an argument at the ground, but I think the argument was to do with him being dropped. So I don't know if it was.
Yeah, I think Sam's come out and said the reason he didn't start is because he wouldn't have suited that style of play. Neither does Sawyers.
No,
Sawyers does not suit Sam's style of play.
Which is I would say is a bigger concern, because I think I vaguely remember myself saying once he was appointed, thinking, is Pereira the sort of player that Allardyce is going to want to use? And obviously he has used him, but if he's going to start dropping him, then that's an issue. Also, Dean Garner not being included apparently is because he doesn't want to play for us anymore.
Oh, okay.
Which whether that is. I might be mixing my words up there. I might be saying the wrong thing, but from the same source that I saw it on Instagram to do with Pereira not playing, Dean Garner not playing because he's fed up and he doesn't want to play. Whether again that's because Sam doesn't want to include him, or he's just lost the passion for it and is thinking this is shit. What am I doing here?
What a waste of £18 million.
But it's it's obviously there are bigger problems happening behind closed doors.
100%, yeah.
And then we speak about the game, and then we talk about obviously Kane's goal. I saw Tom Baggie's bulletin talking about it, and I watched the replays earlier, and again I feel like such a dickhead moaning about Sawyers over and over again. But he does give Kane space, and he just stands and watches.
Him and Peltier let him go.
And Peltier let him go. Let's not excuse Peltier's mistake. Peltier let him go. And they both just stand there and just like, oh, well, what are we meant to do? Your job. Yeah. Defend him. Touch-type marking.
Yeah.
Touch-type marking on the striker, England's best forward.
That you want 2 people on minimum. Yeah. Really?
Fuck it. Put 9 people on him and have 1 person chasing everyone around. Just don't get the ball to Harry Kane because we know he's going to score.
Yeah, especially in the 18-yard box. It's a given, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost as soon as he's touched the ball there, he might as well go, 1-0 up.
Yeah, Johnson hasn't got a chance, has he? So,
and then the second goal was just a great counter-attack from
space
Lucas and Son.
Yeah.
So, but
it's just I know, mate. I know.
Every week, ads. I don't know about you, but I sit here and I just think, am I going to sit and just talk shit about them all again? And I was like, you're going to have to.
I think the whole Sam thing's got to be addressed though, because there's so many things that he's doing that people just look and think, why are you doing that? Pereira is our best player by far.
Oh, completely. He's the only. Him and Johnson are probably the only 2 Premier League players in our team.
Even Maitland-Niles coming in, I'd say Pereira is as good as, if not better, than Maitland-Niles.
I would of our actual players, not loanees, Johnston and Pereira are the only 2 that could be deemed Premier League worthy in my eyes. Some of them are becoming it, but definitely those 2 could walk into most teams.
To not start him though, and bring him on with such little time left, and then the first thing he does is chip a ball into Dieng when he's offside. Or was that the handball, the chip? I can't remember. But yeah, he plays an amazing ball over the top. I can't remember. And he's our most creative player. You've got to start him. Yeah. You have to fit him. You should build a team around him. He's the team. He's the player you build a team around. You've got to, especially look. He's been up for a nomination as well, like
player of the month,
hasn't he?
Yeah. So
let's just nominated for player of the sideline.
Nominated for player of the month. Not good enough in Sam's eyes, though.
And there's a time and a place to be a dick on the sideline and pretend to do a throw-in. And that time was not then Sam Allardyce when we're 2-0 down to go, oh, no, I'm going to take it. No. Don't do that.
Well, here's the bigger thing. And this is something I did want to get into, which is obviously a talk that's kind of happening amongst fans, I guess, and, the other West Brom pages. But is Sam's time up? And you've got to compare it to what Slav did. It's the only comparison we have this season. There was a stat that came out that he'd conceded, I think like the 28 goals that he's conceded was the same as there's only a few teams that have actually managed to concede that in such a small amount of games. 28 goals in 10 games. That's bad. That's like, if you remember, like obviously there was the season Derby had in the Prem. I don't even think they had it that bad.
No, I don't think they were.
I think they just lost by like odd goals, maybe 1s, 2-0s and stuff like that. But we've been beaten 5-0 or 4-0 too many times.
Yeah.
I worked out before this, obviously, just trying to think like, all right, well, how have they actually done compared to each other? Slav versus Sam. Slav managed us for 13 games in the Prem. He got 1 win, 4 draws, and lost 8. There's a goal difference of -16 to him in that. We conceded 26 goals in 13 games. So an average of, 2 a game?
Yeah.
2 a game. And we got 7 points. Shit stats.
Yeah.
Poor stats. Unbelievable, believably sackable stats.
Yeah.
If that was any top club, they would have been fired by, 5 or 6 games. But then you look at Sam's stats, and Sam's been with us for 10 games. So obviously Slav's had 3 games on him, but he's conceded 2 more goals. So he's conceded 28 goals in 10 games. He hasn't drawn as many games. Again, arguably, there's that goal difference. So the game difference. So at 13 games, we can properly compare them. But he's conceded 20 goals and has only got us 5 points. Now, give him those extra 3 games so we can properly go, let's look at them both together. But if those stats are the same or not in Sam's favour, he should get the sack.
Yeah.
He should be treated the same as Slav was treated.
Yeah, I agree 100% with everything you're saying.
Realistically.
And the worrying thing about all those stats you've just read out with how many goals we've conceded, he's meant to be this tactician and been brought in to stop us leaking goals.
Yeah.
And we kind of touched on it with Baggie's bulletin as well in the transfer window. We didn't bring any defenders in. I mean, it's so annoying. It really is. Just that's him. But he's been brought in to do that, so you're not doing that as a job. But then, where'd you go from there? Do you bring in a Morrison with Brunt as a number 2, something local, so you haven't got the out expenditure?
That's obviously like a sort of like a fantasy sort of pairing, I think, for Albion fans, maybe in the same way of like a Lampard being at Chelsea, or if Gerrard.
Then look at the shit Lampard got from Chelsea fans. I wouldn't want that to happen to a Morrison or a Brunt.
But I do think at the same time, Lampard maybe had a bit more space and time given to him by Chelsea than any other manager would have. Like most managers would have got the sack at the end of last season, but he got given at least, until like a month ago. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's where do we go from there? If we get to 26, we're at 26. No, sorry, we're at 23 games. If we get to like I say, 26 games, they've both managed the same. If the stats are equal or as equally shit, then do you go, well, he's got to go then?
Well, I thought it'd be something we're talking about, and I've put it up on Instagram, our story, and it's an overwhelmingly massive vote into yes, Sam needs to go.
Yeah, so, which I can believe, which I can understand. I can totally get it, and I'm not going to sit here and say he should get the sack, but I'm saying should he, because I don't think that's anybody's. Obviously, the board will pick if he gets sacked. It's not up to us. We can obviously share our opinion on being pissed off at him.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's kind of troubling for me at the moment is because he was pre-game, he was talking about how 38 points is what a team needs to stay up in the Premier League. And it was like, okay, that makes sense. I can believe that. I know 40 used to be the sort of standard a few seasons back, but maybe because of COVID and all this stuff, 38, yeah, that sounds about right. That means that we now need to get 26 points from 15 games. We've already played 23 games and we've got 12.
Yeah.
That doesn't add up mathematically. That doesn't, you look at that and you go, well, we're just not going to get it. And I've looked at all the teams that we've got to play against. We've got, like I say, another 15 teams. I think there are 7 matches that we might get points from. Not wins, points. We might draw or beat Burnley. We might draw or beat Brighton. We might draw against Newcastle. We might draw against Palace. We might draw against Southampton. We might beat Southampton because they've been on a bit of a dip recently.
They're the only team out of all the ones you just read out that are on a dip. All the others are starting to pick up points and win and play really well. So I know what you're saying.
We might beat Wolves again. I think we got very, obviously we're super happy that they did, but could we do it twice in a season? It's not impossible. We've done it once already this season, but we beat Sheffield earlier this season and they beat us on the return journey. So what do? We
even with the Sheffield
point at West Ham, but
mate, all the games that we've won. Look at the Sheffield game that we scraped.
It was a 1-0.
They could have scored 7 or 8 that game very, very easily if they'd have had more composure. They missed so many chances from 8-9 yards out. Yeah. So we've been extremely fortunate in the games we've actually got points from. So it's a hard one, isn't it? I don't know what the answer is. I don't know whether to get rid of Sam or not, but I think Tottenham was a pass anyway. I don't think anyone expected us to get points, but and United as well. We've got next Sunday. I don't think anyone's expecting us to get out of that game, especially the way that they picked up for. I know they drew with Everton the other day, but for them to go and beat Southampton 9-0 and the way they've been playing recently.
Yeah.
I can't
It's
see us doing anything.
it's games like that that make me worried because again, we would say like Southampton on paper are a better team than us. They've got players that are Premier League quality.
100%, yeah.
And they lost 9-0 to Man United.
I
That
know,
again,
yeah.
it just makes me think that, and I know we did okay at them, against them in the first half of the season. We got that 1-0 loss, sorry, which is pretty decent, but it done half make me think that that game's going to come around next weekend and we're going to be looking in double figures conceded, and it. But I'm making that judgment based on, well, how did we do against Southampton? How did Southampton do against United?
The only positive I take from today is I think when he came on, I think he played actually quite well, and he looks like that holding midfielder that we've been screaming out for, the Jakob type player. So if we start our best 11, which 3 or 4 Baggies pages on Instagram have posted it what they should be, and we're all around the same sorts of players, maybe swapping in 1 or 2, but the main core 11 players that we've all put out, if we put that team out, I think they would challenge teams. Yeah. But for some reason, Sam seems to just, I don't know what his thinking is.
Well, it's like we were talking about with the whole Sam Field thing. Like, obviously something goes on at the training ground that makes players like Romain Sawyers and, I don't know, Grant look like, wow, these lads are fucking good, aren't they? And then they get on a pitch and it's like they've forgotten.
Grant frustrated me today. He is one player that really, really frustrated me today.
Yeah.
Robinson, when he plays out there, he always gives his all and he gives 100% and he runs all game. Grant gave up on so many half chances. He didn't track back at all. But he was one player that I was really, really quite disappointed in, considering he got the start. I thought, okay, go prove yourself.
Yeah.
I think, as far as signings goes, he's probably been the most disappointing one because I was quite excited when we signed him. I thought, okay, coming from Huddersfield, he's played in the Prem before, he's scoring goals for Huddersfield for fun, and they're not a very creative team, Huddersfield, well, they weren't anyway when I saw him in the Championship. So with us being a bit more creative, he'll get the goals, but it's just not happened for him at all. So he was one that I was quite. I know we had 2 goals that were disallowed, and that's another thing. Diang's a very experienced striker, isn't he?
Yeah.
He should know not to be offside. He should know when to.
You would have think someone would have introduced him to the offside rule at some point.
He's experienced. He should know when to go and when not to go. I mean, the header in the first half that was saved, that was a great save. But
it's an unbelievable save.
Yeah,
like he had against whoever we played last. My brain's already erased the game. It's already gone from my head. Was this No, it was Sheffield we played last.
Sheffield United.
Yeah, so he had a shot in that game. No. Yeah, he had a shot in that game, saved point blank as well. So it's either he's doing something wrong or he's just been really unlucky. Two keepers on the bounce have made great saves against him, but
it was nice to see him hitting the net.
Yeah, it's just a shame that
they were offside and handball, but yeah. But I think he could be. He will. I think he's a good shot. I'd like to see him in the Championship if we can keep hold of him for the Championship season. I think he'd be good.
If we had him in the Championship,
I think he'd be really good.
He'd probably find his shooting form and then would be ready to do the Prem. But I think
I'm kind of resigned to the fact now. I think that is it, mate. I've tried to be as positive as I can about us staying up, and with the points that we need and the games that we've got left, I just honestly I can't see it happening. I honestly can't.
No,
I don't see it unless we have an unbelievable run and everyone else has COVID issues or what. I have no idea, but it's going to be some run to stay up now. So I think it's a little bit too little too late for these signings that we got in January. We needed to get them in at the start, didn't we?
That's football though.
Yep.
That's part of its beauty and its ugliness.
It is, but hopefully we've got something to pick all the Baggies fans up with, haven't we? We're going to release our first video series on Friday of something new.
Yeah, I was glad you brought that up because I was gonna bring that up as well. We've started a new football series that we're doing with other West Brom content creators, your Instagrams, your YouTubes, peoples. And we've started off obviously with our good friend Tom from Baggies Bulletin. And what we've done is we've asked him, and we will be asking subsequent people that join us to pick their best West Brom 11 from their lifetime. So obviously tune in next Friday for that video to go live, and you can see who Tom has picked in his dream team, in his best West Brom 11.
Some good players in there.
Some great players in there.
Yeah.
Some we would definitely benefit from having in our squad right now. But yeah, brilliant. Cool. Righto. Well, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that content. Sorry it hasn't been more cheerful, but what are you going to do with a Baggies fan page? It's not going to be cheerful. Please hit the subscribe button and the like button, because those things really help us out. All our socials are on the page and in the description box, and we will see you next time.